I just took 500 milligrams of caffeine at 5 p.m. like an idiot, but now I'm ready to rant. And I think if you know what's good for you, you shut the fuck up and listen, because I know that you're not where you want to be in life, nor am I. And anyone that says that they are is lying to themselves, because they are scared of not being able to fulfill their own fucking potential. It's time that you wake up. If you are not where you want to be in life, if you're not living the life of your dreams, if you are not living life on your own terms, it's time to start asking why. This can be for someone that's 20 years old and their parents have just made them start going to university, or if you're 35 and you've worked in a job for 10 years and you don't know why the fuck you haven't left yet. Or someone that's been traveling for the last couple of years and now you're like, what do? I'll just go back to a normal job. No. Fuck that. No. The old way of life is dead. There are 16, 17-year-old kids making tens of thousands of dollars online from their phone, making AI videos or coding bullshit apps. And majority of people are still slaves to someone else for a paycheck. Why? The only difference between you and them is that they hadn't yet been conditioned by the bullshit of life, by universities or jobs or parents, to make them think that they had to go a certain way in life. They had enough delusional optimism and conviction, like idiotic kid conviction, that they just fucking did it. There was no doubting themselves. There was no, what if it doesn't work? They just fucking did it. And they're living lives better than 99% of the entire world. When I was growing up as a kid, I thought that the way to get ahead in life was to get a degree and get a good job and save enough money, buy an investment property and then buy another investment property and build a business and keep working. But that's fucked. It doesn't work anymore. Especially starting from scratch. The way that the world works, the way that the value of dollar is fucking declining, the way that AI is coming, you need to future-proof yourself with fucking future-proof skills. You need to learn how to make money online. You need to learn how to live and create the life that you want. 6 months ago, I was serving tables for minimum wage. Now, I'm living in a villa in Sri Lanka. I'm making more money in a week online than I was in an entire month, and I'm living a life of complete freedom. I'm not special. I didn't do anything fucking crazy. I just understood how the game of life works. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't just in this last 6 months that I've known how to do it and it miraculously happened. I've known how the game has worked for the last 5 years, and I've been increasingly getting to this point. But the last 6 months I have put in the fucking work in understanding how it works, down to the T, that I can manipulate my life to become whatever the fuck I want. I want to give you my story of where I was 5 years ago to now, to make you understand how shapeable life is. 5 years ago, I had just gone through the worst phase of my life. I'd been in a toxic relationship for 5 years. I was in a business relationship with one of my best mates, and it turned to shit. We fell out, the business failed, my coaching business failed. My relationship broke up, I had no money, I was fucking dead broke. And I had to move home. I had to swallow my pride. I moved home and I worked with my dad and got back on my feet. And I just thought, how the fuck did I get here? During that time of my life, you would never have found a harder worker. I worked 16, 17, 18-hour days, working full-time in construction sometimes, or full-time in online coaching, or a lot of the time doing both at the same time, trying to run a clothing business, training, content, all of this shit. I worked so fucking hard, so much output, and I got nowhere. It's because I wasn't playing the game. I wasn't playing the game. That all changed when I read a book by Dr. Joe Dispenza, book called Becoming Supernatural. in that book, there's an exercise where he gets you to write down on a piece of paper a letter that symbolizes the intention that you want to set for the rest of your life. For me, during that time, I felt trapped. Trapped by the relationship, trapped by the friendship, trapped by my businesses that were failing, trapped by the fact that no matter how hard I was fucking working, how many hours I was putting in, I wasn't getting anywhere I wanted to go. I felt fucking trapped. And the only thing that I wanted was freedom. So on that piece of paper, I wrote down the letter F with a squiggly line around it. And I done the meditation, and I decided in that moment that I was going to live a life of freedom. I stayed at home for a while, I kept working, and then I got to a point where I was like, you know what, I'm ready. I know that I need to go. I know that I need to, something's gonna fucking happen. I've done the work on my mind. I know that if I continually think these thoughts, but I want the freedom, it's gonna happen. I packed my bags with no job, no fucking house, no nothing. And I drove from my little hometown in Warren to the Gold Coast, 10, 15 hours away. And I slept in the back of my car for 2 weeks. And I found a fucking job that I should not have had. I definitely did not deserve to have the job. It was a high-paying corporate construction job. I was so underskilled, but I went in there with the belief and conviction that I deserved to be there. I got the job. During that job, I met one of my best mates who showed me a different way of life. He showed me that you can have fucking fun, man. You can live life. You can drink beers and smoke darts, and nothing has to be straight 180, and you can still fucking grind. You can still do it. And you can still make money. You can still fucking live. And that was the first time in my life where I'd sort of been like, fuck, you know, like, it doesn't have to be so fucking all in all the time. And then I met a girl, and she's the most brilliant girl I've ever met in my life. She was a skydiver and a snowboarder and a wakeboarder and a rock climber and a fucking doctor, right? She'd done all that shit, and she was still killing it in life. And that was another thing that made me think, you know, this thing, freedom's not about getting a certain amount of money in the bank. It's about choosing fucking freedom. I can choose to be free. And then I was delivered a message from the gods. I nearly got run over by a drug driver one day at work, me and Alex, the guy that I was just talking about. And I realized I'd never fucking done anything. I'd never traveled. I'd never seen anything other than Australia, other than a couple of cities in Australia. So I quit 2 days later. I moved to the Snow Hill in Australia, worked for a couple of weeks where I met one of my best mates, Baz, now. And within 2 months, I fucking packed my bags and I moved to Canada. Freedom. I traveled for 2.5 years. I backpacked through Central America. I backpacked through Europe. I went to India and Nepal. I went to learn to meditate in Nepal. And I lived a life of complete fucking adventure and complete freedom. Now, I know this just sounds like a fucking cool, amazing story, but I'm getting to the point. And please fucking hold on, because this is, oh my God, this can change your fucking life. I knew during that time that I wasn't fulfilled. I before I left and done that shit, I had the car, I had the fucking apartment, I was making 6 figures a year, and on paper it was great, but I was fucking unhappy. So I went and I traveled and I done all the shit and I explored and I partied and I lived a life of complete freedom, and then I still wasn't fulfilled. I knew there was something else. I fucking knew. So I went to Nepal and I learned to meditate, and during that time I fell back in love with the idea of helping people. The idea of, I know that we as individuals have so much more potential than we're willing to give ourselves credit for. We just don't believe it. We can't see it in ourselves, so we never act on it. But I realized that I couldn't teach that to people without showing them that it was fucking possible. I needed to be the test dummy. I needed to prove that if you go all in on your dreams, if you go all in on yourself, if you fucking burn the boats and set a goal, you will fucking achieve it. So at the start of 2026, I took all the money that I had left. I had about 15 grand in my name. And I moved to Vietnam with nothing. No plan other than I was going to make something work. I'd been doing day trading for the last couple of years, on and off, fucking bullshitly. I'd tried content a couple of times and always fell off, and I said, I'm fucking burning the boats. And I went there and I implemented the things that I'm about to talk to you about next. And now I'm fucking here. The point of the story is this, and I'm sorry that it's taken a little bit of time. I said that I wanted freedom. That all started in my fucking mind. It was a thought. It was an intention. I decided that I was going to be free. The universe, the world, life is a game. Not even a game, it's more like a system. And that whole system is mental. In Hermetic tradition, this is like ancient Egypt, Hermetes Trismegistus, I don't know how to say his name. There's a Hermetic principles, and the number one is the universe is mental. Everything starts in the mind. This phone, this water bottle. Instagram, TV, airplanes, everything started as a fucking thought in the mind. Once they were a thought, they became an emotion. That emotion became energy in motion. That energy became vibration. That vibration became frequency. That frequency materialized into what it is. That's woo-woo. You don't need to worry about that. What you need to understand is that everything is mental. The only thing that's holding you back from life is the way that you think about life, the way that you think about yourself, the way that you see yourself is the only thing stopping you from building the life that you want. I'm the living fucking proof of it. 5 years ago, I was working like a fucking dog and getting nowhere. And I started thinking differently. I started treating my mind like a tool rather than letting it use me. I started directing my thoughts intentionally. I set the intention of freedom. People came into my life to show me what freedom looked like. There's no, the fact that those series of events had to happen for me to get to this place right now. They didn't happen by chance. They happened by my fucking mind. They happened because I decided. And once I decided that I was going to be free, I started living from the fucking place of freedom, energetically, emotionally. I started putting out the frequency of freedom, and it started to find me. Everything is mental. If you want to be a fucking influencer, a fitness coach, a day trader, artist, whatever it is, you can do it. The only thing stopping you is your fucking mind. I'm not saying it's easy. There's a fucking lot of hard work in it. But you're gonna be working hard regardless. You can either start to learn these things, you can either wake the fuck up and realize that you are in control and your mind is your greatest asset to getting where you want to go, or you can choose the hard route of staying the same. You can do a job that you didn't want to do. You can do a uni degree that your parents told you. You can stay in the hometown and marry the fucking girl and have the kids and never do anything you wanted to do. That will still be fucking hard. I have sacrificed, no doubt, the last couple of years. Even when I was partying and trading, I was up at 5 a.m. I'd get home from serving tables at 12 a.m. at night and I'd be up at 5 to trade the next morning or practice fucking trading. Yeah, there's sacrifice, but with great sacrifice comes great fucking life. I'm never gonna have to get a job again in my life. I get to make videos that hopefully help people. I get to live where I want, do what I want. All because I started making sure that my mind was taking me in the right direction. If this has sounded a little woo-woo, let me reframe it a little bit like this. We have two minds. We have our conscious mind and our subconscious mind. Our conscious mind is when you're having a conversation and you're doing things that are hard. Our subconscious mind is having a drink of water, you don't think about it. Driving in the car, you don't think about it. Tying your shoelace, you don't think about it. 90% of our thoughts are done on a subconscious basis, right? This is why some people get to 35 and they've done the same job over and over again and the same routine over and over again, and they look around and go, what the fuck happened? It's because their subconscious mind was only ever going to take them wherever they'd always went. It's like an automatic GPS system locked in to go to the same place, keep the same routine. It likes balance, it likes equilibrium. Your subconscious mind is the home of your identity. It's the home of your self-image. It's the home of your frequency. Whatever your subconscious mind deems to be true about you, that will happen. And that's what kept happening in my life. I kept working really fucking hard, but because I had these limiting beliefs and these subconscious blocks, I never got anywhere. When I was partying and trading, and traveling, I couldn't make trading work. I couldn't make content work because I had the identity of Josh Burmo, the party animal traveler. They're not congruent. Once I shifted that identity, once I'd done the work on my mind, and I fucking changed my self-image. I changed who I was, who I saw myself as. 6 months. Everything fucking changed. I'm not special. I didn't have a special start in life. I just had the courage to believe that I was in control. We all are in control. The first step of being fully in control and being able to design the life you want and live a life on your own terms. It doesn't mean you have to live in a villa in Sri Lanka. It can be whatever the fuck you want, but being in control of your life is understanding the mind. Like I said, it's not easy, but once you grasp it, there are fucking no limitations to what's possible for you. Nothing. Go do something great. Live the life that you want. Learn about the mind. Ask me some questions about the mind. Send me a fucking DM, whatever. I can help you, push you in the right direction, but I'm so grateful that I did this shit. I'm so grateful that I read that book. I'm so grateful that I started learning about the system of life, because if I hadn't, I would still be grinding 16 hours a day, getting nowhere. And I don't want that for you.